Hello, my name is Annie Oakman. I am a Massachusetts real estate agent, and we are going to take a dive into a question that I get all of the time. What is an FHA loan and how does it work? So, if you are thinking about buying a home in this Massachusetts market, it's competitive still for buyers. I, for example, just put an offer in on a property in Tewksbury and it got 20 offers. So, we are still seeing a competitive market for certain price points in particular, but different towns, et cetera. So it really depends on where you're looking and what price point you're at. But we are still pretty competitive here in Massachusetts. So if you are thinking about buying a home, you want to make sure that your offer is competitive, but you also want to make sure that you understand your loan. And as a first-time home buyer, there are options for you, specifically an FHA loan. So what is an FHA loan? It is a type of mortgage that is backed by the government. It's insured by the Federal Housing Administration. So lenders are more willing to approve buyers who may not have perfect credit or may not have money for a larger down payment saved up. Um, so it's really a program that's designed to make home ownership more accessible for everyone. So I'm just going to reference my notes so that I make sure I don't miss anything, any topics that are important. So why are first-time homebuyer FHA loans popular? So first, you don't need a very high credit score, a higher credit score. Buyers with scores in the mid 600s can get approved typically. So they have flexible credit requirements. Second, a lower down payment. So FHA loans typically are around 3.5% down payment, which the average down payment, it's a big myth that people think you have to put down 20%. The average down payment is not 20%. It is actually quite a bit lower. So for an FHA loan, you can put down 3.5%. And then competitive interest rates. So FHA loans sometimes offer better rates than the conventional loans. So in Massachusetts, where of course home prices are higher, these different loan options can make a big difference for you. So, basic process for applying for an FHA loan. I would connect you with one of my lenders or a couple of my lenders just to see who has the best rates and terms and who would be the best fit for you. So, you'll reach out, you'll speak with a lender, and then you will apply for an FHA through that approved lender. You'll need to show proof of income, employment, credit history, all of those things. And that's for whatever loan you're going to be applying for. FHA loan requires mortgage insurance, and that insurance protects the lenders. So there may be an upfront fee associated with that you might pay at the closing table. It might be rolled into your loan, and then there would be a monthly premium as well. So that's another point. You will pay that mortgage insurance for the life of the loan. So if you've got a 30-year loan, you're going to be paying that mortgage insurance for the life of the loan, unless you refinance into a conventional loan down the line. So if you're putting 3.5% down for an FHA loan, you will be paying that mortgage insurance. And then, of course, once you are approved and you've got a pre-approval, then we start looking for homes. There are limits based on where you're buying, so a limit to the price point of the home. So depending on what county, what area you're looking in, there are limits for the price point when you are getting an FHA loan. But FHA loans are great. Downsides would be the mortgage insurance that you're going to be paying for the life of the loan unless you refinance into a conventional loan. And then the other downside, can be a downside, is that homes have to meet certain standards and conditions. So FHA wants the property to be safe, sound, and secure. So fixer-uppers are tough to finance unless you turn it into an FHA 203K renovation loan. So if you're doing just your basic FHA loan, then there are things that could be red flags on different properties. Things like peeling paint could be a concern for lead paint, handrails that are missing, different items like that. An unsafe deck or flooring that's not finished in the house, little items like that will be a red flag for an FHA loan, and the appraiser is going to flag those items when they come to value the property for the lender. So, one thing that you can do about that is look into an FHA 203K loan, and that's a renovation loan. So that will give you the ability to purchase a home that may need some work, and then you would roll in that work, that construction work, renovation work, whatever it may be, into your loan. But one thing to note about that, if you're buying, say, a $300,000 home and it needs $50,000 in work, your down payment is going to be on the the total 350,000, not just the 300 purchase price, but also the renovation costs as well. So that's important to note. But the Massachusetts market's competitive. FHA loans can give first-time home buyers a path to home ownership. So it's a great option with lower down payments and flexible guidelines. It's a good option to take a look at with your lender. So let's take a look at, I actually have pulled up, let me share my screen. Let's see, share. Okay. So one of the lenders that I partner with, he's no longer with this company anymore. He's actually with Rate. But this is a document that we put together, I don't know, probably a couple years ago now. But loan programs that they offer. So these are loan programs that you can look into. FHA, that is the loan program that we were just talking about. So again, lower credit scores, smaller down payment. The property does have to be a primary residence. So you cannot buy it as an investment property. It does have to be your primary residence where you plan to live. Loan terms 10, 15. So you can have your loan for 10 years, 15 years, 30 years, whatever it is. And it's a fixed rate type. So then again, FHA 203K, that's the renovation loan. So a little bit higher credit score, down payment still 3.5%. But this one, it can be a 1 to 4 unit. So it can be a single family, a 2 family, a 3 family, a 4 unit, a 4 family. But again, has to be your primary residence. Then there's a FHA 203B repair escrow. So another type of FHA loan that you can talk to about with your lender. Then we go into conventional, which is what people think of typically when they think about buying a home with a lender. Conventional, their particulars were credit score 580 or more. Minimum down payment for conventional can be 3%, but that depends on how qualified you are, of course. Has to be your primary residence, or it can be a second home or an investment property. So it's a little more flexible with that. But they may have stricter regulations. Fannie Mae Home Ready, another type of loan, Freddie Mac Home Possible. So these are different types of options that this particular bank had. So whatever lender you're going with may have different options. USDA is one that I've used a few times. This is for properties that are in more rural areas. So different towns or different sections of towns can be approved for this. Like I've done one in North Brookfield, but areas of Northborough, areas of Grafton, those are all approved. Those certain areas are approved for USDA as well. And this has a 0% down payment required. So it definitely is helpful for buyers that are trying to get homes in those areas. If you don't have the down payment saved up, it's definitely a helpful one and a good one to check out. VA loan, just closed on a VA loan recently. This is a great option for veterans. No down payment is required, has to be your primary residence, and a lower credit score can be approved here as well. Jumbo, this is typically for homes that are over $1 million. Credit score has to be higher for this. Minimum down payment's 10%, but those are for higher priced homes. And then of course, you've got a few other renovation options as well. So those are just what this particular lender had approved, or had for options. Every lender has their own different options. And also when you're a first-time home buyer, you want to talk to your lender about different options for grants and down payment assistance. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to talk you through the process. FHA loans are a great option for first-time home buyers. And I'd love to connect you with some of my preferred lenders to see if it could be an option that would work for you. All of my info is in the description. Feel free to shoot me a text, an email, whatever it may be, whatever is your best preferred method of communication. And I look forward to helping you through the process.